That's a pretty big development. It's not just beating the Commanders. Like, I know it's easy to just say, hey, they beat the Commanders. Who cares? That's a bad team. It sets them up so much better now to face Philadelphia.
Yeah, I would agree. And I think that it's a confidence boost as well. You know, you always think like, hey, we always find a way to bounce back, but you never really know until you get in those games. So it's just a confidence boost, I think, for those guys, a reminder. You know, they don't care about our feelings, but, you know, it's a reminder for them in that building that they're still doing things the right way and not going to leave any stone unturned, man. If we feel like there's something we can improve at or get better at or adjust, like, you know, you got to make those moves. And, you know, the one thing with Dan, I think Campbell and even Jared mentioned it yesterday, is he is very smart, man. He is a bright football mind. He knows his players better than any coach, I think. Like, he knows how to put these guys in right positions. He knows when to push them. He knows when to back off a little bit. And when it comes to the game, like, he has really good flow of setting plays up. Hey, let's run this play early in the game, right? Let's throw it at them, and then boom, we'll have something off of it in the third quarter and potentially get some explosives. He's not just rah-rah, meathead type coach and that a lot of people still think of him being. He's bright, man, and I think that the thing with him too is he gives the players, I think, so much ownership, and that's important because when you feel like, the coaches are taking your advice and, hey, coach, I think I can, be this play can be really big this week. There's no ego in that building to say, no, we put the game plan in, like, you guys go run what we play. He allows it to be a collaborative effort, and I think that makes a difference on game day because you feel like you have more ownership as a player. Right. Now, the more ownership you feel like you have of making adjustments or suggesting plays, obviously you're going to be a little bit more boosted up to try to make sure and ensure that those things work. And I think that's it's a heck of a quality that Dan Campbell has. I don't think there's a lot of coaches out there that can kind of spread it around a little bit and make everybody feel like their input is important.
How much of it do you think is Dan? I mean, we heard a lot about the relationship that Ben had with Jared Goff. And now Dan calling the plays, do you think it is on the same level as what Ben had with Goff versus John Morton coming in? I know he was here a couple of years ago, but you're gone, you're removed, that relationship doesn't grow. And it feels like they just never were on the same page in what Goff is really good at and how he sees the game versus what John Morton and how he sees the game. Yeah,
and I want to be careful with that because, I don't want this to kind of feel like it was a John Morton issue.
No.
And you still put it on the players, right? Like, coaches used to say, man, like, scheme's not a crutch. We trust you guys. Go out there. At the end of the day, you got to go make plays, right? And they weren't doing that consistent enough level, throughout the first 8 games. But I think that, and I kind of hit on it earlier, I think having Dan right there on the sideline, being able to communicate face-to-face, that's the most important relationship in the building, in my opinion, is your quarterback and play caller. And, they've only got one game under their belt this year, but they've had a history of having that relationship as well. I know you're going back a few years, but I think that just being on the sideline and just having a different vibe and being able to go up real quick and maybe suggest something that you want to adjust or, hey, let's get this play in there, man. I'm really starting to feel the safety come down. I think we can hit something like that. When you can have that communication clear, concise, and fast face-to-face on the sideline, we talked about it earlier. It's a more genuine conversation, and I think that is probably going to make the biggest difference when you talk about the relationship between Dan and Jared, especially with Dan calling the plays, is how fast can we adjust? How quickly can we, have a quick chat on the sideline and, hey, did you see it the same way I did? Yeah, okay, good. Like, next time we're going to get this. And I think it just kind of speeds everything up a little bit and gives you a little more comfort knowing that, you got a good feel of what's going on down there at field level.
Yeah, I mean, look,
being in the booth too, like, has its advantages for play callers. I don't want to say like that's the issue, but from the booth you see things different. You see more like rotation a little better. That has its advantages. But I think when it comes to the play caller and the quarterback, having those quick conversations face to face, I think is a bigger difference than people might think.
Let's get to Heather with the news.
This news is brought to you by Gardner White. So the NFL has suspended Daron Payne without pay for 1 game for punching Amon-Ra St. Brown. You probably all saw the altercation that happened at Sunday's game midway through the second quarter as the two players kind of walked past each other following a play. At the time, Payne was immediately ejected. He will now miss Washington's upcoming international matchup against the Miami Dolphins in Madrid on November 16th.
Maybe he had an ulterior motive.
That's what I was thinking.
Can I
I want to get on that
ejected?
flight. I'm not appealing. Nope.
No.
He'll be eligible to return to the team's active roster the following Monday.
When they
17th,
return.
When they return, exactly. Howell Public Schools were closed or are closed today while police investigate a social media threat. So according to the district, the threat of violence was discovered early this morning at Howell High School. The schools are closed out of an abundance of caution, they say, as police investigate. At this point, it's unclear if the threat was credible or not. Shelby Township Police arrested a suspect in connection with a double homicide that occurred at a car dealership on Friday. That afternoon, the bodies of a 48-year-old Clinton Township man and a 40-year-old Shelby Township man were discovered inside Star Auto Sales during a welfare check. Police say the next morning, a suspect was taken into custody at a hotel near Detroit Metro Airport. Police say the suspect's name will be released following the arraignment. There will be a press conference as well held on Tuesday morning. A 40-year-old man from Roseville was arrested after he was caught speeding. He was going 175. No, that'd be crazy.
Is that all?
Holy
He was
cow.
going 107 miles per hour on I-75 in Royal Oak. That would have been really crazy. During the traffic stop, the driver did tell police that he had a loaded gun in the driver's side door. Then during a search, they also discovered another pistol strapped to his right ankle. Those were seized and he was taken into custody. Charges are pending a prosecutor's review of the case. Taco Bell just turned one of its most iconic drinks into a dessert, and it's making some waves online.
Did you guys see this?
No.
It's the new Mountain Dew Baja Blast Pie. It's a limited edition dessert that transforms the soda's signature tropical lime flavor, they say, into a creamy key lime style treat. What makes it stand out is the vibrant, bright blue color.
It looks radioactive.
Of the pie. And that's what people online are calling it. They're calling it radioactive, or somebody said it was Chernobyl cheesecake because of its color.
Wow.
A lot of people are saying, I don't know, because they're saying it's a Friendsgiving flex if you show up with this pie. That's what Taco Bell, that's like a...
I don't think I'd call it that.
No, and they're saying, hey, if I brought this to any Thanksgiving Day function, they'd make me leave.
Show you the door.
But some people say they've gotten their hands on it early and that it is actually really good.
Sometimes appearance is all that matters, and it might not. They're calling it the Chernobyl cheesecake.
Well, no, they're not. Somebody
Oh, no,
online
no,
is
somebody
calling
on-
it that.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
Taco Bell is
I'm
definitely
out.
not
Yeah,
calling
I mean,
it
Taco
that.
Bell can have that effect on you to begin with. Don't need an extra cheesecake to do that.
It does look gross.
No chance.
It's Heather with the news. All right, coming up next, we wrap up some thoughts on this Lions game with TJ Lang. It's 97.1.